A looming disaster within Alaska. There is a worrying natural disaster that could occur at some point in the next century, most likely within the next few decades, although it could even occur this year. East of Anchorage in a glacier-filled area, a slow-moving landslide is occurring due in part to an oversteepened slope no longer being supported at its bottom by the mass of a thick glacier since it has recently retreated. A moving hillside as a result. Between 2010 and 2017, approximately 455 million cubic meters of rock has slid 120 meters or 394 feet towards the bottom of a fjord. The threat is that a section of this rock, or in a truly worst-case scenario, the entire mass of rock, could at once slide into the fjord, generating a destructive megatsunami. Assuming a worst-case scenario event occurs, the run-up height at the point source of the maximum megatsunami heights landslide would be a destructive 300 meters or 984 feet high. Although the wave height would dissipate as it's moved further away from its source, the famous town of Whittier, where everyone lives in the same building, could experience a tsunami wave of 10 meters or 33 feet around 20 minutes after the slide occurred. Moving beyond, the tsunami would go on to cause damage to the towns of Chenagam, Tatitlek, Valdez, and Cordova, potentially causing destructive currents even beyond these cities. But first, a disclaimer. The point of this video is not to make anyone panic. Rather, it is to spread awareness about a disaster which almost certainly will occur sometime before 2100 and potentially save lives. Although the concept of a megatsunami being generated by a landslide might seem preposterous to some people, I must add that this is not the first time a landslide-generated megatsunami has struck the state. In fact, 3 megatsunamis occurred at Lituya Bay due to landslides between 1854 and 1958. Recent megatsunamis in Alaska, including the deadly 1958 event which had a maximum run-up of 1,720 feet in height. And, more recently, in a completely unpopulated area, a landslide occurred in the Ton Fjord within Alaska, resulting in a maximum run-up of 633 feet in height. In that case, large ground movement was measured in the years before the disaster finally struck. The movement currently being witnessed adjacent to Berry Glacier is thus thought of in the same manner. These types of landslide-generated megatsunamis generally follow the same pattern and occur adjacent to fjords or water-filled glacial valleys due to their generally steep slopes, such as the 90-meter-high tsunami generated by the landslide on a steep cliff in Greenland in 2017. Thus, I have developed a general model to explain why these events occur. Fjord landslide model. Oftentimes on the edges of fjords and glacial valleys, glaciers created are a series of steep slopes which would be incredibly prone to erosion if not for the fact that a glacier for thousands of years has been largely preventing them from collapsing. However, once the glacier retreats beyond a steep slope prone to collapse, a slow-moving landslide might begin. This eventually culminates in a massive chunk of material falling off as a single block, before sliding into a body of water and generating a tsunami through displacement. After the tsunami is generated, the water eventually calms, leaving behind a scar in the hillside, a new tree line marking the maximum tsunami height, and on occasion even creates hummocky terrain. Although this could simply be a symptom of a small sample size, the 4 dated recent large summer disaster? Fjord-related landslide and tsunamis have all occurred in warmer months, specifically between June and October. This suggests that if part of the Berry Arm was to collapse, it might be most likely to do so in those months. Of course, a landslide could also be triggered by a regional large magnitude earthquake, although this isn't a guarantee. Thanks for watching. Conclusion: if you would like to request a specific topic, please leave a comment below. Additionally, I would like to thank my new Patreon Tomer for supporting this channel, and I wish him a happy birthday.